forgive my language, and the cyberbullying, as I said, forgive my language, the cyberbullying shit has to stop. First of all, in terms of the thing with Meghan McCain, she was just saying that adultery isn't right, and that people have questionable judgment when voting for people like Mark Sanford, who are not as repentant for their adultery as they could be. And not only that, but people were saying, one person even made a snide comment along the lines of, if it wasn't for politicians like Mark Sanford, you wouldn't exist, referring to her dad's own adultery. Meghan McCain never said that she condoned her dad's adultery, and people who are saying, well, your dad committed adultery, so you're a hypocrite in this, and first of all, Meghan McCain is not responsible for what her dad did. Secondly, I'm not excusing or condoning John McCain's adultery by any stretch, but you have to understand what happened if you followed the 2008 election and all, and if you followed what people were saying about what John McCain did. He had come back, literally going through hell on earth, and his wife had gotten into a car accident, and instead of willing to share her suffering with him and sharing his suffering, she was wrapped up in herself, and she wasn't some kid in her 10s, teens, 20s, what have you. She was mature enough to know that, you know what, life happens, for lack of a better term, shit happens, and sometimes you gotta share in each other's suffering. And so, in some way that we normally don't think about, she kind of cheated with John McCain on herself already. And as I said, I'm not excusing or condoning his adultery, but I can hope that you understand why John McCain cheated on his first wife. And John McCain has apologized. He has more than made up for it. He has been faithful to Cindy. And as I said, people blaming Meghan McCain have got to be, no offense, just low life scum. I mean, you don't get any lower than blaming a child for her parents' sin. You just really don't get any lower than that in cases like the one that we've seen with Meghan McCain. And as I said, you just really, and that's exactly why, for lack of a better term, we're a fucked up country. When God said to turn neither to the left nor to the right, he wasn't kidding. You can Google it yourself. You can search it in the Bible Gateway. I will read you verses, so in case you don't want to do your homework, and some of you, unfortunately, are quite pathetic enough not to do your own homework, I will read 2 verses for you. So, Deuteronomy 28:14. So you shall not turn aside from any of the words which I command you this day to the right or to the left, to go after other gods to serve them. Joshua 1:7. Only be strong and very courageous, that you may observe to do according to all the law which Moses my servant commanded you. Do not turn from it to the right hand or to the left, that you may prosper wherever you go. And the weird thing is, if nothing else convinces me that the Bible is true, how could a book that's 3,000 years old know that we were going to be divided right and left, culturally, politically, socially? And as I said, people who are just bullying Meghan McCain are turning to the right and to the left and worshiping their own gods, whatever their own gods are, whether their gods be republicanism or democracy or whatever else. And if the, as I said, if the Meghan McCain incident reflects anything, it shows that not only are we worshiping our own gods, we are becoming, as I said, for lack of a better term, a fucked up nation, because we're doing what we're doing.